One thing about Flight Sim Nerds is we like to have lots of equipment in and around our desk. So let's take a look at a new piece of equipment that you maybe have never heard of. Alright guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm Casmo. I haven't been around much lately and I'm sorry, been a little busy, but trying to get back into things. And one of the things that's been on my plate for a really long time that I've been wanting to show off is this new piece of kit, well, new-ish piece of kit from a little company called On Your 12. Big thanks to Justin for sending this out to me. Now, full disclosure, he sent me this a while back. Gosh, it's been, I don't know, 4 or 5 months. It's been a while. I was sometime in the spring is when he sent me this stuff. And this was just for me to look at and just, here you go. There was no conversation about having a video. I told him I want to do a video because I thought it was actually pretty cool. So again, Justin, thanks a lot for sending that. And I hope this video can help shed some light on your company and bring some new clientele in. So let's talk about what we have here. All right, the first thing we want to take a look at is the UFC for the F-15E Strike Eagle from DCS. Now, I got it. There's some drama going on at the time of this video where maybe you're a little hesitant to buy in on the Razbam F-15. I still think it's a good module, and this is a great piece of kit to help you out and fly in that thing. This is a UFC. It's got the full keyboard, and it's got the volume knobs. It's got controls for the radios. Now, this is not made exactly to look, you know, exactly like what is in the F-15, but it's pretty darn close, and it approximates a lot of things. It even gives you a couple extra switches there. Now, Justin has told me that one of the things he's trying to work on is have an actual display inside like a real UFC would, where it kind of displays the information. You know, that's coming down the road maybe, but right now this is just essentially a button box that's shaped like the F-15 UFC. Now, this is a combination of parts, but a lot of it is 3D printed, and you can see the striation lines in that. So if that's a big thing to you, maybe something that you don't like, but in general, it's very good shape. It's very light, and what I like about it is it comes with these mounting brackets, or it's got the ability to hook it up on the back to some screws, and it's got some different measurements and some different options there that you can use to hang it on something. So depending on what your setup is, for me, trying to set up something at my desk was a little bit difficult, so I just basically took some scrap wood and kind of built a frame. And you can use these mounts. These are 3D printed mounts, and they're pretty sturdy. They drill in on the side, and then it's got a 3D printed screw, and you can just tighten it up. I have found no problem with it, ability to hold the component. As I said, it's very light and very simple to mount. As for the buttons, they're not very loud at all. Of course, you've got a couple metal switches. Those are always a little bit noisy, but it's one of the things I look for in hardware, especially because I make videos, is I don't want something making a lot of clicks in the background. The microphone's going to pick that up. So one of the things I checked on this was to see how loud it is. And you can see that the buttons really don't make that much noise. Now, these are made basically to order, and it's about $200 for the UFC button box. It comes with the USB cable that's already attached. It's about 60 inches long, 66 inches as I recall long, so you got plenty of cable. You can hook it up to whatever you need. As far as the ease of getting it installed on the computer and it working, really no problem at all. I plugged it right in. It recognized all the buttons. Very easy to map within DCS or to use it in other games. You can also see that I've got Casmo written in there on the faceplate. If you put in your order, you can also request to have, you know, your call sign or, you know, something put in there. He did try to actually put my channel emblem on there, but it was probably a little bit too much, a little bit too complicated. He was worried about losing the detail. But if you've got maybe a simple image that you want to put on there, just share that with Justin, and he can probably, you know, work something out and maybe get it on there as well. So as you can see, the kit is pretty good size, about, you know, as big as my head. Like I said, noise-wise, you know, it's going to make noise because it's a physical thing in space, but it's not overly noisy. It's very light, just you know, a pound or two. I'm not good at measuring things with my hands. As I said, on the back, it's got multiple ways to mount against the wall, and then you've got these 3D printed clamps that are here that just attach. He provides the screws. You just attach that to the side. It's got this 3D printed screw. You can put it right into whatever you've got it mounted on. You can mount it on your desk, or as I've set up, basically a contraption to hold things up. All right, so that's the UFC for the F-15. Let's take a look at the other piece of kit that he sent me, which is the master arm panel for an F-18. Now, this is obviously much smaller. It's only got a few buttons on it. It's got a switch. But what's cool about this one is it does light up. Same thing with the UFC. It's a 3D printed kit. It's got the 3D printed mounts that you can put on the side. It's got the clear black acrylic cover. But this one does light up. The buttons light up as you press them. So if you change it from air to air to air to ground mode, it does have a discharge button, or you can put in an order and have that change to an orange color with the master arm, which honestly I think would be cooler and more handy. And then you've got the master arm switch. Much like the UFC, you plug it right in. The computer recognizes it. There's no fancy setup or any kind of special software that you need. It's just a USB device that you can plug in. So as I said, the F-18 kit is about $65 and the F-15 UFC kit is about $200, and there's some modularity there with that F-18 kit. But take a look at the website. There's a few other products on there that he's got. F-16 ICP, it's got the F-18 sensor panel, F-14, and one that I'm really interested in taking a look at is the F-4 Phantom weapons control panel. There's a lot of knobs and things that you've got to mess with within the F4, and that looks like a really good, really handy piece of equipment if you are flying the F4. Anyhow, once again, thanks a lot to Justin. That's On Your 12. Just search for that in Google. It's on Etsy. It's an Etsy shop. Ships worldwide. Obviously, depending where you're at, the shipping is going to make an impact on that price. But go over there and take a look. Very cool piece of equipment. And once again, thanks to On Your 12 for letting me take a look at it and playing around with this stuff. And I hope this was a helpful video for you. We'll talk to you on the next one. Take it easy.